Shedeur Sanders is already planning future with latest move, as Kevin Stefanski and Browns decide QB cut. For more than 2 months now, the biggest story out of Cleveland wasn't experience holding center stage. It was the rookies showing they belong in the depth chart and the QB competition. For the Browns, the stories of Joe Flacco's playoff berth in 23 or Kenny Pickett's shine back in Steel City have grown old. In the thick of the QB room, the biggest dog in the spotlight continues to be Shedeur Sanders and his unstoppable drive to show out. After reaching Cleveland at the end of his draft journey, Sanders' mission wasn't about making people regret passing on him. It was about showing the league his legendary tag was legit. And after impressing at the rookie minicamps, the OTAs, and the mandatory minicamps, Sanders only seems to be picking up more speed. While the rest of the NFL world was busy figuring out 4th of July plans, Sanders decided to drop a statement to put the QB room on notice. The statement? Throwing dimes in the rain, showcasing his speed and footwork, and wearing the Browns helmet to show what he represents. And as insiders believe, that move was a marketing masterclass. On a recent edition of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, the crew broke down the film of Sanders practicing in the rain. Adam the Bull Gerstenhoff saw it as Shedeur gearing up for the future. As he called it, he should practice in the rain a lot because there's bad weather here. Practicing in the rain is good because you're going to have rainy, windy, crappy conditions here. During many of the regular season matchups, Cleveland looked straight out of Macbeth's opening setting. Thunder, lightning, and rain. And Sanders throwing passes in this weather can only translate in his favor if he has to play in similar conditions. But it's not just about the preparation. It's also about the way Shedeur has been marketing himself since he entered the Browns building. Talk about Shedeur's camera presence. Even G. Bush was all praises for the QB. Bush called Sanders a marketing savant and doubled down on how people usually try to take breaks on the 4th of July weekend. Sanders was the exact opposite. Looking at some of the plays Sanders made, Bush even noted he looked like Patrick Mahomes in some frames. Bush further added, he's a marketing dude. He finds a way to endear himself to people, which I love that it's calculated because it takes a lot, because you can get some backlash from you putting yourself out there. But for Sanders, there was no backlash, and the message was clear. This guy is all in with the Browns and dedicated to being a part of the roster. Shedeur Sanders is winning over the dog pound with every move he makes. He's made it known that he's here to stay no matter how many curveballs you throw at him. But as Sanders works to become a valuable piece for the Browns locker room, there's another QB whose time seems almost up. For Deshaun Watson hinting at a return during the season, his future looks as bleak as Cleveland's stormy skies. Once heralded as the missing piece for the Browns, Deshaun Watson didn't take long to become a lesson in regret for the franchise. When Jimmy Haslam's big swing and miss tore his Achilles last season, fans cheered. While Myles Garrett took shots at the fans after the game, the signs of dissatisfaction couldn't be clearer for the dog pound. And as Watson hints at major progress with recovery and return this new season, it doesn't look like he's a part of the equation anymore. Watson isn't one for giving up. This offseason, he stood his ground with, they don't think I can get back to where I was. I know and I believe. I know I'm going to be way better than before. But even with that promise, insiders weren't buying it. Appearing on 92.3 The Fan, Browns insider May-Kay Cabot laid it out flat. I really think the ship has sailed here for the most part for Deshaun Watson. Don't envision him playing this season, and I think it's going to be a long shot even next season if he's still on the roster. Cabot also believes the Browns will hold on to him for now because of the salary cap, but a post-June 1 trade in 2026 can save them a lot of money. For now, Watson is repaying a favor to Deion Sanders by taking Shedeur under his wing and showing him the ropes. Hashepsai! Coach Prime was one of the people who had supported Watson through his injury. With Flacco firmly away from the mentorship group, Watson has taken on a bigger role of passing the knowledge. His chances on the gridiron? The rest of the Browns seem to have decided to move on from their $230 million 0-cents heartbreak. The writing's already on the wall for 2026. In a world where football narratives are as unpredictable as a fourth-quarter comeback, one name continues to quietly shape the next generation of quarterback royalty: Shedeur Sanders. The son of the ever-chronic Deion Coach Prime Sanders, Shedeur is crafting his own tale, not merely as a quarterback but as a brand, a student of the game, and now more than ever, a forward-thinking architect of his future, the Browns' gambit, a ripple in the NFL pond. Meanwhile, across the league, the Cleveland Browns made a decision that sent gentle tremors through the NFL quarterback landscape. Head coach Kevin Stefanski and the front office opted to release veteran backup QB Tyler Huntley, a move that raises eyebrows more for its timing than the name itself. For most, it was just another preseason roster cut. For those paying close attention, however, it was a subtle signal, a domino tilting forward in a much larger sequence. The Browns, with Deshaun Watson still the franchise face, are clearly not done evaluating their long-term future under center. Whether for depth or a future franchise face, Stefanski is keeping options open, and into that small crack of opportunity slides a whisper of possibility: Shedeur's latest move, a glimpse into the mind of a quarterback. In waiting fresh off another electrifying season at Colorado, Shedeur hasn't even officially declared for the NFL draft yet. But his latest move speaks volumes, and it has nothing to do with touchdowns. Last week, Shedeur Sanders quietly filed paperwork to create a personal QB training and analytics company, tentatively titled Prime Precision. It's a hybrid operation, part data-driven quarterback lab, part elite training hub, part media brand. He's teamed up with biomechanics experts, NFL QB coaches, and digital storytellers to create an enterprise that's as much about perfecting the craft as it is about owning the narrative. This isn't just off-season busy work. This is legacy architecture. Sources close to the Sanders camp say the move was inspired by Tom Brady's TB12 empire, but with a Gen Z twist. Built for the era of NIL deals, podcast appearances, and TikTok highlights. More importantly, it signals a mentality that goes beyond short-term gains. Shedeur isn't just preparing for the draft. He's positioning himself as a new kind of QB, equal parts athlete, brand, and CEO. Connecting the dots? Shedeur and the Browns? Here's where fiction dances with possibility. The Browns cutting Huntley opens a space. It doesn't mean they'll go after Shedeur directly yet, but Cleveland is known for doing their homework early. GM Andrew Berry has quietly been scouting the next wave of mobile, intelligent quarterbacks with leadership charisma. Boxes Shedeur checks with a confident Sharpie. And while Sanders hasn't made any public statements about NFL preferences, insiders say his team has already mapped out ideal landing spots for his eventual leap. Teams with offensive line investment, dynamic weapons, and forward-thinking head coaches. The Browns, with their steady improvement and Stefanski's offensive acumen, are somewhere on that list. Imagine this scenario. The Browns, tired of QB purgatory and eager to reboot their narrative, decide to trade up in the 2025 NFL draft to snag a once-in-a-generation leader with college swagger and NFL IQ. Shedeur, armed with his own training company and a reputation for mental sharpness, becomes more than just a draft pick. He becomes a movement. Suddenly, Cleveland isn't just looking for a backup plan behind Watson. They're preparing for a succession plan.